Hi, I'm Pamela from Pamela's Patterns, and welcome to my studio. I would like to show you a new twist on blind hemming. Blind hemming has been around for a long time, but not everybody is super comfortable with the technique for doing it. So I hope these little tips will help you. I'm going to start with blind hemming on knits. This all kind of started when I decided I wanted a nicer hem finish than a stitch down hem for my knit dresses, for the classic t-shirt dress. So I'm going to start with the hem of the dress and using this double-sided fusible stay tape, which is a paper backing on one side and a glue on the other. I'm going to press that on to the wrong side of the fabric, and it's a ½ inch up from the cut edge. After I have that done, I'm going to use my serger to finish off the edge. Now, if you do not have a serger, don't worry about it. Knits don't ravel, so that's just purely for looks to give it a more finished look. Once I have that on, I will fold up the hem with the paper still on there and press it in place. That just makes it very easy, just kind of sets the crease in there, makes it real easy to follow once I have the paper off. Then I'll peel the paper off. What you'll see, oh, it's a little too hot still. What you'll see when you peel the paper off is the fusible web. And just like what happened to me, if you try and peel it off when it's still really warm, then it might peel some of the tape off as well. That would all come off, and then I would be pressing that up and fusing it down. What this does for you now is gives you a perfect turn. So now when I turn to have this ready for my blind hem, it just turns perfectly. I don't have to do any extra pinning. I can just pin this down . The turn is already there, because I think the hardest part about doing a blind hem is how do you fold the fabric? Well, the fabric is already folded for you, and you just have to flip it back and do your pinning. A blind hem foot has a flange on it. Not all of them have the flange. Some of them have a screw that would adjust it. This one is for a computerized machine, so to get the bite of the stitch just right, you would be using the width on your sewing machine to adjust it. That flange or ridge, whatever foot you have, rides down the fold, and so what it does is it stitches little stitches right on the hem, and then it does a zigzag into the garment. And so it's just designed to catch just a little tiny bit of that fold. And I just love the way that this stay tape will stabilize the hem, lets you have the fold right there for you, and gives you a beautiful blind hem. What's also great about it is that when you have it all done in your garment, it still has stretch. The stay tape stretches, the blind hem stitch stretches, the serging stretches, so you get this very beautiful blind hem. You can also do something similar to this in wovens or stretch wovens. So I like to use this technique for my pencil skirts. This time I'm going to use a knit stay tape interfacing, or you could just cut strips of your light interfacing by Palmer Pletch to get the same effect. So for a woven or a stretch woven, what's hard about doing those is oftentimes you see the blind hem stitching on the right side of the garment. So here's a way to make your stitches really a blind hem. Use your knit interfacing or strips of your interfacing onto the garment side, and make sure that it comes up to the very edge of where your hem is going to be. So on this hem, I did serge finish the edge, but if you wanted to, you could turn under and press that. But just make sure that the interfacing is on the garment side, the wrong side of the garment, but coming up to meet the edge of the hem. Then I would pin at the bottom of the hem, right along the fold. That will keep that fold in place. And then fold the garment back on itself. So now you see a little lip of that interfacing there. And I would pin this way every couple of inches. And then I'm ready to do my blind hemming. So what's really great about this is that when you do your blind hemming, the zigzag stitch that bites into the garment is going to hit the interfacing and not the garment fabric. So it really truly will look like a blind hem. Here is this one finished, and I used a black thread so you could really get an idea of how well this works. So it's caught into the interfacing and not so much into the garment. And even with that black thread on this khaki fabric, you can see that you're not noticing those blind hem stitches. So it does a really beautiful job. Here is a pencil skirt made from a stretch woven fabric, and you can see that you can barely tell that that has been blind hemmed because the stitches are caught in the interfacing. I think you'll like it.